Hey, um, I wanted to make another video, but I wasn't sure what to make it about. Um, First, I'll just talk about my day. Uh, Day's been okay. I woke up, didn't really do what I wanted to do. I usually like to open up my mornings with reading. Um, that's to say, the past few days at least. Um, because at least for me, reading's something that's been very new. And so that's just how I started my days. And as a result, I've just felt more productive. I didn't do that today. I don't know if it's because of that. Maybe I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, but either way, I just wasn't feeling great. That said, just to jump ahead of schedule, I did end up reading a little bit, 30 minutes, got a couple chapters down, but not as fresh, right? So much stuff going on throughout the day, a lot of stuff that I got to absorb. It's not like this is a lot of heavy stuff that I'm reading, a lot to internalize. But that said, I went through my day, had late breakfast, ate breakfast when I should have had lunch. I ended up going to the gym later on in the day, did a pretty good workout. Honestly, I've been finding it a little bit tough to go to the gym for maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours. And I don't want to mislead people by saying, more time in the gym equates to just better results. That clearly isn't, not clearly, that isn't the case. But I think for me, it was just a matter of doing actual things and also spacing out, because that's something that I tend to like to do when I do my workouts, and especially now when it's a big lull in my training. I don't really want to work out. Well, I say training, but yeah, I'll say training. It's not amazing to be working out all the time, and especially when I've set up this thing and I figured it out in that sense that I know what I need to do. I just need to do it. Obviously this is the hard part, right there. If you want to achieve a certain goal, doing that goal more often, getting your reps in will help you achieve that goal. If I want to be a better runner, I gotta run. It doesn't help if I go on the bike or lift weights. Ultimately, what does help is just getting those reps in. And so that's what I struggle with. But either way, on the plus side, I was able to do that today. I didn't stretch, which kind of sucks, but I did the weightlifting portion. And then I came home, had some dinner, played some games, went to the grocery store, and read for 30 minutes. And that brings me to now, which is what I kind of want to reflect on, because I think that will help me internalize me actually reading. And also, I've just been having this one thought in the back of my head, which is, I don't know if it's common. It probably is very common, because I don't know, I feel like everybody else should have this feeling, which is like, when you read a good book, it doesn't have to be fiction or nonfiction, it can be anything. When you read a good book or consume a good piece of media, you just want to share it with people. If you have genuinely learned from it and it makes you a better person, you're like, well, dude, I can't keep this shit under wraps. I can't gatekeep this. But it feels like I'm overstepping. I might seem like offering advice when it's not useful, or not useful, but just when it's not asked for. So I guess you can't really push that on to people. But that's just been a thought, because it's kind of like you want them to share that same excitement that you have. But at the same time, I don't know, maybe I just don't have people who are into the idea of reading as much as me. But that said, anyways, I didn't read much. I read about a chapter and a half. But this chapter particularly interested me. And you know what? I'll just read this one section at the very end of the chapter. It's kind of lengthy, maybe about 30 seconds long. But it talks about the idea of earning the right to be right. And what that means is when you are conversing with another party and you are offering advice to them, it isn't necessarily your job, even if it is your job as a consultant, for example, to provide them with advice. And what I mean by that is what they want is to be heard and be understood before that advice is taken. And if that is taken beforehand, then it causes a lot of friction in between the two groups. And maybe from the client's perspective, or from the other party's perspective, they're like, yeah, no, they don't understand what I want. They're just mansplaining this to me, or they're just saying whatever they can to get what they want, or whatever pleases them. And the other side is, well, I don't think this person gets what I want. So they really talk about empathy, and I guess in my own words, being the bigger person, and tying it back to the book, earning the right to be right. So that's what it's about. So if you try to persuade a client by telling her that what she should do, she probably won't do it. Not because she is especially ornery, but because she is human. No one responds well to being told what to do unless she feels heard. Unless she first feels heard. Sorry, I skipped words. Think about objections in the light of this aspect of human psychology. When you are focused on being right, winning the argument, or showing others how smart you are in effect objecting to them. And they, in turn, react by objecting you. When you listen first, you earn the right to be right. Now, this particular, I'll call it a passage, but this section, this particular section was interesting to me because the first little bit of no one responds well to being told what to do unless they first feel heard. That is word for word exactly how I feel. And I feel that I have said that multiple times, but with different words. I have personally phrased it as, I don't like it when other people tell me what to do. Well, I think that there's a missing link here, and I think this is part of that missing link. I'm trying to think that, if I get a little bit more context to being heard, then, my willingness to accept advice, then I can't think of the word, but it's then oh my goodness, I'm blanking. I guess it's possible. That's the word, I guess, possible. But being told, I can't think of an example, but I hope that you kind of share my sentiment here. because I think this is something that I haven't really internalized just yet, and it's been like about an hour since I've read this chapter, but I've never thought of it like that. And I mean, I think this is something that I will talk about later, but the idea of how you frame things, and I guess that's not common, but that is frequent, in the sense that, you know, oh, you always got to look at the glass half full and not half empty, or, you know, look at things in a positive light. But I think in tandem with this is no one responds well to being told what to do unless they first feel hurt. So being told by, let's say, a friend or a colleague or anything, like, oh yeah, bro, just look at the glass half full. Like, yeah, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, try to be positive, I guess, but I just can't. I don't know what it is. It's not a very productive conversation. Being told the solution to something doesn't really help. And to that same point, when I say that to somebody else, it, you know, maybe they get cut off. You know, part of it, you might be thinking, you know, F that guy. They shouldn't cut me off. They, you know, where do they have to be that is so important? But considering their situation, maybe they do have to be somewhere important. Maybe I'm rambling on and on, but it's that idea of framing things in different ways, and that's what this book does a really good job of doing. And you know, I've always known, like, you know, yeah, be more positive, do good things, but this kind of gives a justification as to why and what role that actually plays, and allows for you to do other things. This is the foundation to actually maintaining the relationship or continuing the relationship. When people say, you know, oh, like the small things matter, they really do matter, and it really is the small things. This has changed my perspective on, you know, should I message this person? Should I say happy birthday to this person? Oh, well, we don't really talk much at all, or I've only seen this person in the hallways. I don't even think they know me. It's changed a lot, and it's only been a few days. I really can't say this with too much heft behind my words, but I really feel that this book is eye-opening for me, which is very surprising. Surprising in the sense that this is a good book. I want to recommend this to other people, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling. I just kind of wanted to word vomit. Maybe I'm not going to do this again. Meaning read this late, and I'll probably make my video later in the day when I have my thoughts and ideas kind of gathered. But this one passage is something that I did want to highlight, of anything in the book, at least, because I think that pertains very explicitly to me. I don't know if explicitly is the right word, but that applies a lot to me. And yeah, I don't know what to say. I think a lot of people feel this way, and yeah, there are different tolerances to what a person needs to feel heard, but yeah, I don't know how to leave this on a closing note. TLDR, this book is great, and my day is better that I read this book, at the end of the day. I'm going to try to read it in the morning instead. Okay, see ya.